Honestly, I thought Omni Man's rage was the scariest part until I realized his love is the real horror show. Yeah, I used to think his fists were the biggest threat to mankind, because, come on, you and I have seen the way he rips people in half like two halves of a sandwich, and the way his rage bathes the whole city in blood. But when I started looking closer, and what really started to mess with my head wasn't the violence, it was the way he showed people a little affection. What I'm talking about here is plain innocent love. But since the discussion is on Omni Man, it's not gonna be all that innocent now, is it? But he's got that quiet, composed, almost affectionate side to himself that really makes you wonder how he can be two extremes at the same time. That's what actually creeps me out, and I'm sure it must have struck you at some point too, because I realized something truly disturbing. If there's something more terrifying than his rage, it's his love. So hey, the thing about rage, yeah, it doesn't hide behind anything. Rage and anger are two very obvious traits, but love, get ready to have your emotions twisted. I feel like rage is easy to understand. It's big, it's loud, it comes with explosions and broken jaws. You can see it coming. But Omni Man's love, that's subtle. That's where the real damage happens. He's got that comforting smile. He consoles you. He even plays house. And while you're letting your guard down, believe me, this guy actually cares. He's only plotting the best way to destroy everything you love in a single afternoon. Chills. I wish I could believe he ever truly loved Debbie or Mark. I really wanted to believe it so bad. But when I think back how calm he was while delivering that "your mom is a pet" line while also describing some of the most unnecessary details just put me off. I mean, wasn't this the same guy who turned out to be the best dad on the show? And that's when it all started making sense to me. I realized that this guy never, I repeat never, saw humans as equals. Just as attachments to be used for his benefit when convenient and when it was time to be responsible, he chickened out. That's not love, that was just weaponizing intimacy. But here's the thing, he doesn't know actual love. In fact, he was trained to fake love, and that's what I find so freaking scary. It blows my mind when I think about Viltrumite Empire. These guys literally trained their children to conquer entire civilizations by feigning concern when, in reality, they couldn't care less. It's like a military strategy disguised as a bedtime story and a wedding ring. Who better to embody that playbook than Omni Man himself? Curious to dive deeper into this twisted world? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and keep your mind open to the unexpected. When he raised Mark, he wasn't just being a dad, he was also sort of being a sly conditioning soldier. That realization makes me sick to my stomach. He taught his son how to fly, how to fight, and how to be proud of his powers, but the whole time it was to someday be able to turn him into a colonizer. I feel betrayed on Mark's behalf, and if that's what I feel, imagine what Mark must have felt himself. Because that wasn't parenting, that was prepping a tool to use later. Everything he did, be it out of affection or love, he always did with an intention. These kinds of people are really the type to really mess with your head till you give in. The train scene haunts me so badly, and it wasn't even done in anger. And you bet I'm not done talking about this scene. So in the infamous train scene, pretty sure you know the one. I can't even think about it without feeling incredibly uneasy. Sure, the gore was a bit much, but the worst part isn't the gore though. Did you notice his face while that whole thing happened? It just messed me up so badly that Omni Man did that whole slaughter show with a straight face. He wasn't yelling, he wasn't out of control, he just showed Mark what happens when you protect weaklings. And then he slapped a label on its ass and called it love? I honestly don't think I'll ever fully wrap my head around that. That level of emotional detachment combined with the excuse of "I'm doing this for you" is repulsive and also chilling at the same time. Because when love becomes a justification for things like horror, there's no longer love. Isn't that some type of grooming? Well, I definitely think it's a far cry from love. And speaking of some incredibly numbing things Omni Man has done, I think one of the most hurtful things that the dude pulled off was how he mocked his relationship with his wife. Debbie thought that she had a husband. Oh no, turns out she was just part of this disguise. You wanted to spend a life with someone you love and put a ring on it, only to find out you were just a recyclable addition to his act. Shattering. Every time I rewatch scenes with Debbie and Nolan, my whole perspective of their relationship has changed. It certainly doesn't hit the way it used to, the way he acts so human, so normal while harboring this galaxy-crushing secret. It makes me feel nauseous. Like she loved him. She shared her life with him, and he referred to her as, what again? A slut and a pet. The worst part that I'd have you trembling is the fact that there wasn't even the slightest remorse on his face while saying it, meaning that he was being fully honest about it. It was not even out of cruelty, but out of genuine belief that she wasn't his equal. And the thing that kills me, he still said he loved her in his own way. Well, I know for one wouldn't want to be loved like that for sure. But it haunts me, because if that's what love looks like to him, it's worse than any superpowered temper tantrum. It's calculated, conditional, and completely self-serving. He didn't have to hurt her physically, he broke her by reducing their entire life together to a lie. This is another thing I keep coming back to. If Omni Man just went around screaming and punching buildings from day one, we'd all know he's the villain. But because he wore that husband-dad hero mask so well, nobody saw it coming. Not even me. That's what makes this version of love so deadly. It gives him access. In the end, is that what it is all about? Omni Man is terrifying because he's like a virus hiding in a trusted file. He appears familiar, with a friendly smile and a reassuring voice, but when you let him in, everything falls apart. What makes him truly horrifying isn't just that he kills the Guardians of the Globe in under a minute, it's that he does it without hesitation. There is no fury, no emotional buildup, it's cold, calculated, and calm. That's what makes him so unsettling. A Hulk-style meltdown can be stopped when the rage cools. But Omni Man's pieces killing shows he believes he's right. He doesn't act out of anger, he's unshakably certain. He can commit genocide and hug his son without a second thought. Most heroes are vulnerable through love, but Omni Man uses love as a weapon, manipulating trust to break people when it's most effective. He raised Mark to either be an ally or a pawn. Either way, he wins. Who remembers watching Mark getting beaten? Boy, that wasn't just violent, it was emotional warfare. I can't lie, those final episodes completely gutted me. Watching Omni Man beat his son half to death wasn't just painful because of the violence, it was painful because you knew he still loved Mark, or at least he thought he did. And that's the final twist of the knife. When Mark begs for his life, when he pleads for his father to remember their family, Omni Man hesitates. And I hate that moment because it shows he's not a monster in the way we want him to be. Monsters are easier to fight, but Omni Man, he cries, he feels something, and he still leaves. That complexity is what gives me chills. The real horror? Being loved by someone like him. When I think of true horror, it's not being punched into orbit. It's being told I love you by someone who would burn your entire planet to prove a point. It's realizing the affection you trusted was just a leash. That's the nightmare. Because Omni Man doesn't hate Earth, he loves it, in the same way a scientist loves a lab rat. In the way a god might love a planet only when it obeys, and when it doesn't, he crushes it. Not out of fury, but because he believes it's necessary. And that's what makes his love so much more scarier than his rage. So what do you think? Did you catch all the layers of Omni Man's love, or did we miss something? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like and share if you're ready for more. And if you think Sissel's more dangerous than Omni Man, check out our previous video. Subscribe for more shocking tales.